Before I get this video started, I want to do a shout out to Philip Baby Giant Barbell. He had his first powerlifting meet yesterday, and he finished with a hair over 1410 for his total as a natural. And for perspective, I think that took me like 4 or 5 years to get a 1,400-pound total. As a competitive powerlifter, somebody who trained every day, so he just went in there, and that's his first meet. Philip, I hope you stick with it. You are definitely going to be an elite level lifter, for sure. Life is hard, and anybody who tells you anything different is either selling you something or they haven't experienced it. But it doesn't mean that it has to be bad. Most of the miserable people I talk to, people that are just not happy, they're always talking about happiness. I want to find happiness, in my relationships with other people. I'm not happy. I want to be happy. What the hell is happiness? Happiness to me is a beer and a cigarette on after a hard day's work, or, relaxing by the pool, spending time with loved ones, doing things that you enjoy. Happiness comes and goes. Joy is like getting that PR at a powerlifting meet. Joy, they're all states of mind. They all come and go, man. It's fleeting. You show me somebody that's always happy, and I'll show you a sociopath or somebody who's got brain damage or who's on a lot of drugs. I don't know anybody who's always happy. I mean, life's a struggle. But there are people that I come across, and I really try to emulate them. They always seem to be happy. They struggle through adversity. They have problems just like everybody else. And if you talk to them, they'll tell you about their problems. And they're not happy all the time, but they have a positive mental attitude, just a mindset, and they're usually pleasant to be around. And we tend to gravitate towards those people for advice, and we like to work around those kind of people. And they usually, generally, if you meet those kind of people, they affect the mood of everyone around them, and they tend to, plant happiness, if you will. Like, they make other people happy. Facts. You cannot find joy. You cannot find happiness if you are angry, resentful, nihilistic. All of those states of mind. If you're afflicted, if you will, if you're just generally one of those people with a bad disposition, you'll find that it's nearly impossible to find joy. People that are angry all the time, like the guys screaming in traffic or whatever, the high-strung people who are always ready to fight. Those types of people, you'll notice, like, are they ever happy? Do you ever see them happy? Do they act happy? Are they happy? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not like you follow them around all day. Maybe they go home and they're completely fine. But generally speaking, I work around some miserable people. And I always ask them, like, well, what are you doing to deal with that? Like, how can I help you? And we can easily turn that around and point that at me. Are you happy? Hell no, not rarely. It's hard for me sometimes. And I shouldn't say that. I'm often in states of joy. I'm often in states of peace. I'm often in states of contemplative reflection. But I'm also a very high-strung person. And if I don't do things to maintain that, I get depressed. I suffer from anxiety. And I am prone to fits of anger and outrage. But I temper that. One of the things I pride myself on is I don't lose my composure, especially in a professional environment. I pride myself on it. In fact, they usually call me in for conflict resolution. Professionally, I am the guy that on work they call to resolve conflicts. When guys are fighting, when guys are arguing, when guys are angry and it's getting heated, they will send me to help mitigate that situation, and I'll be the calming voice. And usually all I am is the mediator. I'll sit and I'll regulate the conversation. You got two parties and they're going at it with each other. I will be the guy that says, you speak, you listen, and we take turns. And I rarely interject. All I do is allow people to speak and allow people to be heard. And then generally, 9 times out of 10, they come to their own conclusions. And then, I'll guide them. I'll be like, hey, well, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but what you do is you get two people who are in conflict, and you get them to one has to listen and one has to speak. And you get them to take turns, and you make sure that the other side hears the other person and acknowledges them. That's the big thing. And then once you can achieve that, generally speaking, they calm down and they come to their own consensus. Now, sometimes I have to override. Like, if you get two parties and they just refuse to play ball, then at that point I use my authority to just make a command decision. But I generally don't like to do that. I like people to work their own problems out. One of the biggest causes of getting into these states of mind is that we tend to get stuck. We're just like computers. You ever fired a computer up and you're doing video editing and you try to open up another app, but it's very hardware intensive, and it just locks up? Well, that happens to us. We get bogged down, we get stuck, and sometimes you got to do a hard reset. You got to hit the Control-Alt-Delete button. You got to hard power that bad boy down and start fresh. The same thing goes with us. Let's just say you're one of those guys, and this video is kind of aimed at a couple people specifically. I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm trying to help you guys. You post a video, someone talks crap about it. You get mad, you talk crap back. And then the next thing you know, you are in this thing and you're obsessed about it. When you get offline, you can't stop thinking about it. You're thinking about what that bastard say to me, and you're online and you're scouring comments and you're just like looking, and you next thing you know, you're wasting tons of valuable time that you could be doing other things with, and it's just a complete expenditure of energy, and it's just a waste, because at the end of the day, what is online? Online is not real life. It has no bearing on your situation whatsoever outside of the power you give it. So the attention you give online is what is the power that it to affect your life, if that makes sense. Like just say somebody says that your lips are stupid and you're stupid. And you think, wow, that guy doesn't like what I do. Maybe I should change. Why? Who's that person to say anything? He's not the arbiter of, what is relevant and what's not. That's just the opinion of one person. So why are you changing what you're doing because one person doesn't like it? Do you think that guy speaks for everybody? And maybe he thinks he does, but he doesn't. So why are you giving him that power? I mean, that's silly. Stop it. But I completely understand obsessing. I mean, that's what we are, is we're obsessive. That's the reason why we're good at what we do. A lot of us tend to be very sensitive, emotional, soft-spoken people. And even though we have this hard exterior shell, we do let the opinions of other people affect us, whether we want to admit it or not, and we seek the attention of other people, and we like it when we get praise, and we don't like it when we get criticism. That's just who we are, and that's lifters in general. You'll notice that a lot of lifters are former alcoholics, or they battle addiction, or they've had some kind of adversity, and the weights and the attention and all of that helps to mitigate that. That's part of the process. And some of us, we trade one addiction for another, but that's a different video right there. I guess I can look in the mirror when I say that one. Regardless, whether we admit it or not, we care about what other people think about us, and that's part of the problem. It's just too easy to get wrapped up, and then we find out that we become resentful and angry, and when we're like that, you can't find joy. When you're angry, when you're upset, you can't find any joy in your life, and you have to find joy. So the first thing you got to do is realize that what you're doing right now, you're stuck. You're stuck in it, and you need to turn that computer off and reset it. That's what a hard reset is. Well, now that you reset that thing, and you're starting scratch, you turn the computer on, it fires up, it does its little thing. Just like you waking up in the morning, what are you going to do with the day? You have to set your intentions. If your computer's automatically set up to start all the same crap that it had running when you shut it down, it's probably just going to lock up again. It's probably going to give you the same level of performance it had when you shut it off. It might run good for a few minutes, and then it'll freeze up again, just like us. If we just immediately start doing the exact same thing we were doing before, if we wake up and we're already obsessing over what other people say, or we're worried about, like that video we posted last night, I wonder what that bastard said to me, while I was sleeping, and the first thing you do is you check your messages and you want to find out what everyone else is saying. If you're doing that, you're not reset. All you did was hit the pause button. This can go for anything. It doesn't have, we're talking about online because it's relevant to everybody, but it could be problems in your life. It could be something as simple as dealing with bill collectors. Let's say you're late on bills, and I've been there where they call, you see the phone ringing, and you don't want to pick it up. You don't want to deal with it, and we don't. We'll put it off. We'll say, I promise I'll talk to that guy later, but I'm not going to talk to him right now. Or maybe you're fighting with a loved one, or you have a problem at work that you need to deal with. And we have a tendency to just try to put things off and not confront them directly. Or we confront them, like I said, in a way where we been doing, and we're going to get what we got. If we do the exact same we've been doing, we're going to get the exact same results we've been getting. Well, my two biggest tools upon resetting everything is to A, set my intentions, and B, use timers. So, if you're one of those guys that's having online beefs with people and you're getting in these flame wars online and you find that you're spending way too much time online, set a timer. You set a timer. I'm going to get online for 30 minutes, and when that 30 minutes is up, I am putting this thing down and I'm doing other things. And you stick to it. Setting your intentions. It could be something as simple as, I'm behind on all my bills, I got all my classwork, I didn't do my reports for work, I got all this pile of shit, I need to clean my house, I haven't done my garage, everything's just going to crap, and it's overwhelming, it's too much, what do? Well, you reset, and you set your intentions. You pick one or two things that you can manage, and you do those one or two things. You pick one thing every day, and you do that one thing every day. It could be as simple as, I need to do the oil on my car, or I need to clean my bedroom, or I got to put my laundry away. Whatever, pick one thing and do it. Instead of procrastinating, instead of putting it off, instead of not picking that phone up. Maybe you got a bunch of creditors calling you, and you can just say, I'm going to talk to one of them. I'm not going to answer all the phone calls. It's just too overwhelming. I'm not going to clean my whole house. It's such a mess, I don't even know where to start. Just pick one thing and do it. And once you do that one thing, you're going to find you feel a million times better. It's a small, tiny, achievable success, just like weight training. Adding 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds to your lift, instead of making 50-pound jumps, and then when you don't get it, you feel like a failure. You pick things that are achievable and you achieve them. Start with small successes and set yourself up for success. Pick something you know you can do and do that. One of the ways I repaired my credit, my credit was terrible before I bought my house, and I needed to get my credit score up. So we pulled my report and we got a list of everything I owed. And what we did was we found the smallest bill on there and we just paid it off completely. Paid it off. And then we took the money that we would use to pay that bill and we put it on the next smallest bill, basically doubling that payment. And then we paid that thing off as quickly as possible. And then we take the money for that one and put it on the next one, and so on and so forth. Started with the little things, and then it eventually carried over to the big things. And within 3 months, I went from like a sub 600 score to over 700, and I was able to buy my house. And it took the help and guidance of another person who knew what he was doing. And sometimes we have to do that too. You got to find that person in your life. It could be a counselor, it could be a trusted friend, it could be a group of friends, it could be loved ones, but somebody that you can listen to, somebody that you can share your problems with and that you trust, that can help guide you through it, just like a coach, just like we do with weight training. I could say, oh, I'm the number one whatever, and I got all these whatever medals, and I'm an awesome power lifter, and I'm the man. But the fact of the matter is, to this day, I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, and I defer to other experts. I have a coach. I use a coach, a training partner, and you guys to constantly try to improve. You got to remain teachable. So, sometimes when we get stuck, you have to seek the advice of other people that seem to know what you're going through, and you can trust and you can talk to them. It's important. Lastly, and this is the big one, this is one we all need to work on. When you have these successes in your life, pass them on to the next person that's going through the same thing what you're going through. The highest calling in life is service to others. And if we're not giving back, what does that make us? That makes us extremely selfish people. You'll find that angry people, resentful people, they're very wrapped up in themselves. And they're not doing anything to contribute anything positive to the lives of other people. And the people that are usually tend to be reasonably happy people that are fun to be around. So give back, man. Be part. If you're part of a community, be part of that community. And that's what I think about every day. What am I doing for other people? Is everything about me, or am I contributing to the lives of my friends, my family, my coworkers? We can't exist as islands, man. We weren't meant to be alone. And, most of the miserable people I meet, the one thing I've noticed about them is they don't really have meaningful relationships. So that's a big thing. You gotta reach out and you gotta give back to other people. That's what I love about powerlifting. Not online, not YouTube, but on the actual powerlifting, is it's like a family. Some people say it's even like a cult, but whatever. We're people that come together and we have a shared interest, and our interest is to see other people achieve what we've achieved. Lastly, and I'll wrap this up, this one's really important. Sometimes you just gotta get away. Take that small trip with your family, stop, put the weights down, go do a different activity, take time off of work, do something fun, get your mind off of it, unplug, forget about your problems for a little while. Can't forget about them for too long, because they're compiling in the background. And just go do something different. For me, it's taking trips, going to see the ocean, spending time with my family, going on hikes, or doing different sports. Completely different. Like, after I'm done powerlifting, maybe I'll try CrossFit out, or stone lifting, or whatever. Like, I'm watching you strongmen and your stone lifting guys, and then I kind of want to try that out. Do something different. Do something you're bad at. Pick up an instrument. Start playing that sucker. Start painting Warhammer figurines. Find something that you're not good at and become proficient at it. Do something different. Like, you got to get your attention off of your little world and expand that sucker once in a while. That's a huge help. And then when you come back, you can double down and refocus your energy, and you'll find that often you become more proficient, more focused, more honed, and whatever you're trying to be good at now, you'll become better at. That's it, man. What can I say? I don't know why these videos, like, it just seem I can't seem to, like, I either make them 20 seconds long or I ramble on for hours. But either way, I'm coming up on 1,000 subs here, and I want to thank all you guys. Once I get 1,000, I really don't know what that means. Like, what do I do with that? Does, like, some magic fairy come down and grant my wish, or what? Or does it mean anything? But it does seem like a little bit of a milestone, and we're very milestone-oriented people. We like hitting PRs and nice even numbers, like 4 plates. And why is a 395-pound bench not good, but a 405-pound bench is awesome? Like there's literally, what's the difference? 4 even plates instead of 3 and some change. And yet, we make such a big deal out of those increments. Well, I guess this is an increment. And I want to thank you guys. That's what I feel like right now with 980 subscribers. I feel like I have a 400-pound bench, and 1,000 subscribers is a 405-pound bench. If that makes sense. I don't know why that matters. But thank you guys. And if you have any thoughts, hit me up in the comments. I love talking about this kind of stuff.